Cause the players gonna play, 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 play. And the haters gonna hey. But baby, I'm gonna shake it off. Hey, Texas fans, Taylor Swift gave you all a message. Use it, apply it.
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work, work. That's what I say. Hard work, work, work. Earn my pay. Hard work, work, work. Do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of 2:45. Hard work, work. Let me go and earn my pay. Hard work, work. Boots on.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Why am I doing this already? You gotta wait till you get to that part, Sarge. It ain't even that time yet. Why are you doing this? Stop jumping the gun. Hey, stop being You know what? I'm not gonna do that. We're not gonna start this show off like that. Once again, you're tuned into the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end, and on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because we do everything for the gram. You know how we do it. Make sure you follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. All right. How y'all doing this morning? Y'all like my singing? Because the haters gonna hate. Like, listen, you can lie all you want to. That's a catchy song. That Taylor Swift song is a catchy song. Shake it off. We'll get into that in just a second. Hey, so it's October, right? It's the beginning of October, fourth quarter of the year. Let me tell y'all something I hate about October, right? Well, yeah, let me tell you something I love about October. It's my wife's birthday, and so when it's her birthday month, I feel like it's my birthday too. She already know. I mean, it's her birthday, but we're gonna celebrate like it's ours. Like I like birthdays. Anyway, I'll tell you one thing I hate about October though. Hey, listen, you pumpkin people. You pumpkin people. Let me tell you all something. We don't care. I don't care. I don't care how much you like pumpkin lattes. I don't care how much you like pumpkin pie, pumpkin candy, pumpkin bread, pumpkin. I don't care. We don't care. It's our time now. All you pumpkin lovers, come out and play. Let's go. It's our time. Your time to do what? Be ridiculed? Be subjected to this harsh criticism I'm gonna give you, because whose palate likes pumpkin? Who? Raise your hand if you like pumpkin. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if you all have noticed this or not, but I am an African American male. I don't know how that comes across on screen. I don't know if you could see that or not, but I don't know too many black people who like pumpkin though. I know that you all are out there, but pumpkin is, I don't know. We never had pumpkin in my house. We never had a pumpkin nothing. We ain't had a pumpkin for Halloween on the front porch. None of that stuff. The only time I ever seen pumpkin was at school or around I seen it around the neighborhoods growing up, but like at school we had pumpkins, but at my house ain't no pumpkins at all. Period. Hold on. See what Alexis has to say. Pumpkin spice is my white I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know anybody who likes pumpkin. That's just me. So all you pumpkin lovers out there, in my where I get my smoothies from, I'm not gonna say the name because they're not paying for no sponsorship. But where I get my smoothie from, they're talking about, hey, guess what? Buy a smoothie, get a free pumpkin enhancer. Now you can keep that. I mean, I'm gonna buy the smoothie, but you can keep that enhancer because I don't care. I don't care at all. Pumpkin. Look, hold on. AD, I'm so disappointed. Hey, this must be that Texas A&M side in you, because it ain't the PV side. I ain't never seen a pumpkin nothing at Prairie View. This is must see, and this is what happens when you leave a HBCU. Y'all, this is a prime example. Look at AD. He is, hold on, this is amazing. Closest thing we get to pumpkin is sweet potatoes. Exactly. That's right. The closest we get to pumpkin is sweet potatoes. Nothing but cake, pumpkin spice cake. AD, we're gonna have to have a talk, brother. Hey, let's meet back at my LB Charles's house and and talk about this. Hey, listen, before I move on though, let me tell y'all another thing that I hate about October. Hey, drop in the comments your worst, drop in the worst trick-or-treat candy. Drop in the worst candy you've ever received at Halloween when you was trick-or-treating. I'll tell you mine. Let me fix this right quick. Let me do that. Okay, let me tell you mine. I hate candy corn. Candy corn, I would rather eat black licorice before I eat anything candy corn. Candy corn is horrible. Candy corn is the worst Halloween candy out there, in my opinion. And hey, listen, how long can you let candy corn sit before it starts all sticking together? It's terrible. Candy corn is terrible. Horrible. Well, every time, well, put some candy corn in my bag, and as I'm walking and I see that candy corn, I'm walking and I'm dumping it on the ground as I walk. Candy corn is horrible. That is one of the, you want to listen, if you want to punish your child, give them candy corn. That is the worst. I'm saying to myself, who eats this? You know what? When I was younger, I would have rather gotten fruit than candy corn. Hell, they could have gave me pencils. They could have gave me the bottle of glue. Them little, some of y'all are too young to remember what I'm about to say. But these little bitty erasers that they used to have back in the day. So some of y'all don't know that we used to actually have to write. Like when I was growing up, we actually had to write. Nowadays, y'all just use your thumbs. I don't think a kid, listen, I know how to confuse a child quickly. Just start writing in cursive. They'd be like, what is that? It looks like a foreign language to them. So anyway, I would have rather get them little erasers, a pencil, fruit. Hell, you could have gave me 2 rolls of toilet tissue and I'd have been happy than to get candy corn. That's terrible. That's nasty. That's, oh, yuck. I digress. Once again, you're tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. All right, let's jump into this thing right quick. Texans fans, listen, I've done 2 renditions of Taylor Swift Shake It Off, right? And listen, side note, so before Kanye called out Taylor Swift, I didn't really know who Taylor Swift was. I think, did she start off in country and then move over into pop where she is now? Listen, I ain't the biggest Taylor Swift fan, meaning that I can't name you a bunch of her music, but the music that I know is pretty catchy. And it's one of those things where it just keeps running in your mind. So that's what I was thinking about when I was thinking about you Houston Texans fans who, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It's a Texans off day. Last night, on Monday night, there were two NFL games that were played on Monday night. Side note, I don't know where this weird thing is coming in. It's too much football for me. Side note. Hey, dear NFL, hear me out. 2 NFL games going on at the same time on Monday night is entirely too much for me. I can't focus. I cannot focus. Listen, and I get it. On Sunday, there's a bunch of games being played. I've known that my entire life, so I was able to adapt and adjust to these different things. Got it. And then you came out with the NFL Sunday ticket. You gave us the red zone. Cool. I got that part. 2 games on Monday night is entirely too much. And why? NFL football, the professional football is the top sport in America, not in the world, because we know Soccer is the top. But in the United States, football is king. Football is king in the United States. Just play the one game, bro. Everybody's still gonna watch. Just play one. We only need one game on Monday night. There's no reason why we need two. So, two games were played on Monday night, which ended week 4 in the NFL. Today is the off day for a lot of teams. Today is the off day, especially for the Houston Texans. I'm going to get up out of here in a minute because I have a community event that I have to go to with the McNairs and Aziz Al Shair, and I forgot who else. It's a couple other people, a couple other players that are going to be there. But the Texans are off on Tuesday. But you know what has started? Week 5 in the NFL. Those last two games that were played on Monday night that ended week 4. It's over. It's done. Shake it off and let's move on. Just shake it off and let's move on. Because how many times are we going to continue to talk about the penalties from game 4? We got it. We know it. Hopefully they'll get them better, right? We know. Penalties. You don't like Laramie Tunsil. You don't like the run game. You don't like Bobby Slowick. I got that. But guess what? They got a new game starting this week against the Buffalo Bills. So if you're still harboring things from game 4, game 3, game 2, and game 1, don't get me wrong. We're going to get into the report. I got a report card for the first quarter of the season for the Houston Texans. And I even asked Coach D'Amico Ryans on Monday during the press conference about how we felt about how his team has played through the first 4 games, the first quarter of the season. And I'm going to read those quotes in just a second. But my thing is, hey, can you move on now and start focusing on Buffalo? Do not get me wrong. I understand there's a lot of issues and there's a lot of things that need to be fixed with this Houston Texans team. A lot. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed with this Houston Texans team. And with that being said, Sunday against the Buffalo Bills is an opportunity for them to get it together. And so we keep talking about these game 4 over and over and over and over again. And, like I said, I can't tell nobody what to do. I'll be honest with you. I can't tell nobody what to do. And I'm all for, free will, free speech, free thinking, however it is. So I can't tell you stop talking about the penalties, stop talking about the inefficiencies of the offense, stop talking about Bobby Slowick's play calling. But if you keep yourself in that mindset, you keep yourself right there, then you're gonna always look for the negatives. Because contrary to belief, as bad as the Houston Texans have played in the first 4 weeks of the season, there's actually a lot of good things that they have done. Like y'all are complaining, some of you all are complaining, and Nico Collins is the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL right now. Some of y'all are complaining, and CJ, if in his first 4 games, has 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and his pass for 1,054 yards, 67.6% completion percentage. And for as much as you want to talk about the offensive line, CJ has 2.85 seconds to throw the ball. It's not bad. That's not bad at all. Hold on for a second. Critiquing, not complaining. I get that. But a lot of times, the negative critique sounds like complaining. That's exactly what it sounds like. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Come on in here, group chat. We swarm and saw it. Yeah, come on in here. Y'all, listen, y'all know me, bro. I don't run from no smoke. I'm the lighter. I told you all last week, when you look at me, just listen, think about how Lil Wayne starts his verses. You hear that little flick of the lighter? It's me. I'm about to start that smoke. I'll start it. I ain't gonna do that today though, because y'all some good people. No matter what y'all be saying about me on them spaces, y'all some good people. But getting back to the Texans, It's one of those things where, like I said, we get it. We get it. Hold on. Yep. Don't ignore in victory what you wouldn't ignore in defeat. Hey, can you elaborate on that? Elaborate on that for me for a minute. Let me read what Corey says. Sorry, this is a bad take. You ignore bad play in victory versus bad teams. That's how you get blew out by the better teams, the Ravens and the Vikings. So let me ask you a question. Let me ask all of you all a question while I have you here. Drop it in the comments. What team has played? What team in the NFL that you've watched in 2024 has played mistake-free football? What team out there can you look at and say, in the first 4 weeks, this team has played amazing? I'm asking. I don't understand. The Chiefs are undefeated. Please tell me that you think that they played mistake-free football. Here we go. Hold on. The Vikings. Are you serious right now? The Vikings jumped out to a 28-0 lead over the Vikings jumped out to a 28-0 lead over the Green Bay Packers this weekend. They won 31-29. Let me say this again. The Packers jumped out to a first half 28-0 lead over the Green Bay Packers. What did I say? The Packers? I'm sorry. The Vikings, excuse me. The Vikings jumped out to a 28-0 lead over the Packers. They won 31-29. And they should have lost that game if there wasn't for missed field goals. They scored 3 points they scored 3 points in the second half. I'm confused. Hold on. I got y'all. I'm here today. We gonna make this thing. We're gonna make it do what it do. Hold on. Sounds like they did what we couldn't do. If we could address certain issues in defeat, they must also be addressed in victory. The issues don't change whether you win or lose. The Texans are not a disciplined team right now. I said that. That's what I said. I said that the Texans have not played great football. They're 3-1. A lot of teams, I'll tell you this. Jacksonville Jaguars would take 3-1 right now. Cincinnati Bengals would take 3-1 right now. Hell, even the Baltimore Ravens would take 3-1 right now. The Dolphins, I'm gonna look at some of these stands. There's some teams that would love to be 3-1 right now that are not. And so, with that being said, what I'm trying to say is there has not been a team that has played great football this season in 4 games. So I'm confused. I'm confused. I don't go into other fan bases. I don't go into other fan bases spaces, and I don't go on their fan pages, and I don't follow them like that. So I don't know what like the Kansas City fan base is saying. I don't know what these other fan bases are saying. Now hold on, let me pull this up right quick. Here we go. NFL standings. Let's go American football. Let's just go by the conference. So you have the Chiefs who are 4-0, the Texans are 3-1, the Steelers are 3-1, the Buffalo Bills are 3-1. Jets 2-2, Colts 2-2, Ravens 2-2, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos, Patriots 1-3. All those teams I mentioned previously are 2-2. Patriots 1-3, Titans 1-3, Browns, Dolphins, Bengals, and Jacksonville hasn't won a game. Now over in the NFC, you got the Vikings at 4-0, the Bucks, the Commanders, and the Seahawks and Lions are 3-1. Falcons 2-2, New Orleans 2-2, Dallas 2-2, Eagles, Packers, Bears, 49ers 2-2, Cardinals, Los Angeles Rams, Carolina Panthers, and the New York Giants are all 1-3. So when we're looking at that list, right? When we're looking at the standings, and you have the Texans right up there, right behind the Kansas City Chiefs with a 3-1 record for as bad as they're playing, then the only place they can go is up. Now, when I do this report card, of course, we're going to talk about how all these things has happened. We're going to talk about how the Texans have played in the first quarter of the season as soon as we get there. But right now, it's time to just, okay, cool. Listen, yes, we know what they did last Sunday. They came out with the win. It wasn't a pretty win. The first home game of the season against the Chicago Bears, it wasn't a pretty win. The game against the Colts is probably the best I've seen them play. That was the first game of the season. They played pretty good. You don't give up the 2 big plays, they blow the Colts out. And if we're keeping it a buck, the last if you look at the Vikings game when they got blown out, they too many mistakes. But you started off with mistakes. You started off with a holding call, and you started off with a turnover. And that kind of set the tone of the game. And that game is the one game I couldn't understand how you couldn't come back. You got all this offensive firepower. How can you not come back? And I get it. You don't have Joe Mixon, which is another thing. Like, I want to see with Joe Mixon supposedly coming back this week, Tank Dell supposedly coming back this week, no Christian Harris. But when you see them coming back, hold on. Let me see what I be listening, and then it hits me. Sarge be thinking from a Cowboys perspective. Are you Pastor? So, Pastor, let me tell you something real quick. So, communion in the Baptist church, they don't use real wine. It's grape juice. Like it's grape juice. And now I think in the Catholic church, they may use real wine. In the Baptist church, Pastor, they don't use real wine. They don't use liquor that looks like it's grape juice. They use grape juice, Pastor. I don't know if you took communion this morning. It's only 9:52 in the morning. Why are you drunk already? Why are we doing this, Pastor? Why? Because if anybody knows me, what do they know? When I'm doing my job, I don't have a team. And then when I am a fan and I am talking about the Cowboys, I'm harder on the Cowboys than most people will be. I talk bad about the Cowboys. But this show today ain't about the Cowboys. We'll get to the Cowboys tomorrow or maybe Thursday when I start talking about these games. You think you think that the way that the Cowboys beat the Giants, I was like, man, they're gonna win the Super Bowl? Hell no. There's two. Listen, if y'all complain about being 3-1 watching the Texans, how in the hell you think I feel at the Cowboys being 2-2 with victories over the Browns, and over the Giants? What are we doing here? At least the Texans' problems can be fixed. Like being undisciplined, that could be fixed. Lacking talent can't be fixed as long as Jerry Jones is the owner and the general manager. And ain't nobody out there for him to go get because he keeps spending money on the wrong things, like Dak Prescott. Come on, bro. Not me, Pastor. Not me. Hey, man, I would suggest this. I would suggest just go ahead and get the Welch's. The Welch's grape are the best. That's the best grape juice. I digress. If we're going to keep talking about what happened on Sunday, how can we ever talk about about the game that's coming up against Buffalo? Because at any point in time, the Texans can get it together. If they cut down on the penalties, like they had 12, let's say 12, 24, they got 33 penalties. So they're averaging in the last 3 weeks, they're averaging 10 penalties per game. What if you cut that down to, let's just say 4? What if you cut that down to 5? What if these penalties don't kill these drives? Then you'll get you'll get that 30 points that you've been looking for. You'll get this blowout victory that you're looking for. Listen, with the Texans getting healthy coming into the game against the Buffalo Bills, they're underdogs. I don't know. I don't do any betting, so I don't know what the line is right now. But Buffalo shouldn't be that big of a favorite over the Houston Texans, because Houston has just as much or more talent than Buffalo has. So if they're favorites, it shouldn't be by much. And so, like I said, the Bears game is gone. The Vikings game is gone. The Jacksonville Jaguar game is gone. Last week, and I think I did put that out. If y'all go back to my page and look at the video I put out on Sunday with the still shot of Aziz Al Shair, it's the audio embedded. You'll hear him say, "This is a week to week league." I said, that's kind of cliche-ish, but I guess it really means something. He says, "Whether win or lose, we keep it moving." What? Hold on. Can you hey Madison, you mind giving me that line if the Texans are favored? That must have just changed, because I think on Monday they weren't the favorite, right? Oh, okay, okay. Here we go. Thank you so much, man. So, okay, I got it. Less than 2 points. So, hey, and I can see that. I can go with that. If I was a betting man, I'd take that. So hold on. We're gonna get past some things. I'm gonna move on in just a second. Teams with negative point differential: Texans, Patriots, Dolphins, Browns, Titans, Jaguars, and Raiders in the AFC. And the one thing about all those teams is that the Texans are better than all of those teams, and they're still, even with that, they're still 3-1. That's the one thing that I'm trying to like. Cool, I got it. I told you all in the recap. Ain't no such, they don't count ugly wins and ugly losses and pretty wins and pretty losses. They count wins and losses. And at the end of the season, when you're trying to make postseason, they're not going by point differential. They're going by, hey, how many wins you got? How many losses you got? Okay, that's overall. How many you got in your division? How many you got in your conference? Now it's time to seed you. So if the Texans are playing this bad, and this is what I can't understand. This is what I can't understand. If the Texans have been playing this bad and they're 3-1, y'all don't think that it's gonna get better? Like, is that, hold on? Hey, listen, I did it 2 times. I gotta do it a 3rd time to make it complete, right? I could do it one more time, right? Hey, so you don't think that the Texans can shake it off, hoo, hoo. The players gonna play, and the haters gonna hate. Hey, listen, I don't think that YouTube can do copyright infringement, right? They can't copyright infringement for me for my bad singing, can they? So if they're 3-1, you don't think that the Texans can shake it off and catch momentum and catch a winning streak here and with an effective offense? So are you making a lot of excuses for people that's holding the team accountable just so you can say y'all complaining? That's messed up. Like, Corey, I'm gonna leave this right here. Excuses? Or am I just talking facts? That I'm talking facts. And I've held the team accountable on numerous occasions. I held them accountable against the Bears. I held them accountable against the Vikings. I held them accountable against the Jags. I just don't have I I I just don't have the same type, and I guess we're looking at this from different lenses, because the way that I'm looking at it, let me put it like this. I was here, and I'm pretty sure you were a fan of the team then too, Corey. I was here when they won 4 games, 4 games, 3 games, and a tie. That Lovey Smith year, right? That Lovey Smith season, they won 3 games and had a tie, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because they won the last 2 games of the season, right? They won the last 2 games. They beat Tennessee in Tennessee, and then they beat Indianapolis in Indianapolis. And I remember they had a tie, but I can't remember who they beat before that. They came into that Tennessee Titans game during Christmas with 1 win, and they ended the season with 3 wins and a tie. So they won 11 games combined in 3 seasons. 11 games combined in 3 seasons. And the way y'all was complaining then is the same way y'all complaining now, and they 3-1. And when I say complaining, I'm like, every win is not going to be a beautiful win. It's not. And the penalties are horrible. We've said this on numerous occasions. Hold on, man. Let me sit up here for a second. If you're telling me that 3-1 with all those issues and those problems, and you still mad, makes you mad, and you still mad, and it makes you mad, then what the hell? So if they, let me ask you this, if they still play this way, in 7 games, but they're 6-1, are we still complaining about that? If they're 5-2, if after 7 games they're 5-2, and you're saying they still got the same issues, true, but they're winning. Like at the end of the day, they're winning these games. They may not be winning them in the fashion that the fans want them to win in. They may not be winning in the fashion that the media wants them to win in, but they're winning. If they're playing like this and they're losing, by all means, let's talk about it. They winning. They're not pretty wins. They're not effective on offense. The offensive line needs help. They have too many penalties. The penalties are killing the drive. We know that. The coaching, something ain't right. It's a disconnect somewhere, which is also why you're getting all these penalties. Like, there's a disconnect. I feel like D'Amico could be calling a little bit better defenses. Like, I feel that way. But at the end of the day, they're still winning. Hold on. What's the expectation, Sarge? Having a good record or winning the Super Bowl? Hey, Corey, I'm going to leave that right there. Winning a Super Bowl, of course. You came into this season thinking that the Texans were going to win the Super Bowl? And I'm being honest. I'm going to have to get you on this show one day. You think that, how many of y'all, raise your hand if you thought that the Texans were going to win the Super Bowl this year? I didn't. I said that they should be in, they should at least make the AFC Championship. I didn't have them playing or winning in the Super Bowl. I did not. I don't think that they're ready to take that step just yet. And by watching them throughout training camp, I'm saying, no, they need about another year under their belt, and then they'll start being Super Bowl contenders. Some analysts had them being Super Bowl contenders. And it's still not too late. It's still not too late because the rest of the AFC is playing like garbage. And with the injuries that the Kansas City Chiefs have sustained, with them losing, they lost Hollywood Brown before the season started. They lost Hollywood Brown before the season started. Now they just lost to Rashee Rice. You got an old Travis Kelce, and their offensive line does not look the best. That defense is subjected to lose games as well as they did. They won them, they've been winning them. They barely been winning them, but that defense is suspect as well. So the Texans are still there. And as long as they can get this let me say this, as long as they can get this out of their system right now early, because later on in the year, they got some tough competition. They have to play in some tough places. If by the end of the year, we should see where the Texans are when they got to play, when they have to play within a 5-day span, when they have to play Kansas City and on that Saturday, and then come here on Wednesday, which is Christmas Day, and play the Baltimore Ravens. I still feel that if they got this stuff, if they're going through these issues right now, I feel like if once they start getting them together, they should be one of the hottest teams by the end of the season. And like, if we keeping it a buck, because listen, Pastor, Corey, 80, Alexis, Marcus, Big B 4480. It's some more people in here. Paul, Demo, Madison. Like, I respect a lot of y'all's football opinions in here. And y'all know that. Y'all know that a lot of times I jump into spaces. Sometimes I jump in there and listen anonymously just to hear y'all talk because y'all be going off. And I don't want to come in and then you got people who been in there to start trying to ask me questions. I'll be like, no, man, this ain't my spaces, this they spaces, and they doing a damn good job. So y'all know I respect y'all football opinions. So like, let's keep it a buck right here. Like, look, I'm from Houston. You see it, I got it on my chest. Hold on, let me put it right there. H-Town, right? And the majority of us in here is from Houston. Hey, look, man, we know, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100, right? Isn't this the time you want your team to play like this and get all of that out of their system? That way that they're not having these same issues by the end of the year? Like, this is the time you want them to work on cleaning up their game. You want them to work on being more effective. All right, listen, we got the first quarter of the season. This didn't work. Excuse me. The first quarter of the season, this didn't work. Let's get it together. Let's get this thing together and see what we can do. All right, listen, that's the first 4 games. Let's take this game in the next 4-game block. The next 4-game block. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go to the schedule right quick. Let me look at the Texans schedule for the next 4 games. Texans. Their next 4 games, they play the Bills, the Patriots, the Packers, and the Colts. And they could come out of that 3-1. So now if they're 6-2, because I feel like they can beat the Bills, they can beat the Patriots. I feel like they may lose to the Packers. It just depends. And then they got the Colts coming around, and the Colts probably may still be playing with Joe Flacco. And if they are playing with Joe Flacco, then the Texans have seen him already. They know how to do it. So let's get it out their system now. Let them get it out their system. I can't do it no more. Alexis, I want to do it one more time. I can't do it though. I've done it enough. I have to let my Taylor Swift fandom die down for the day. All right, let's move on. All right, so it's time to give the it's time to give the report card, right? Let's get a grades for the first quarter of the Houston Texans season. And let me read you a quote from D'Amico Ryans. And this is what I asked him, man. This will be up on my social media page on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. The video will be up within the next hour and a half, 2 hours. So I specifically asked him, and this is head coach D'Amico Ryans on Monday. I asked him on how he would assess the first quarter of this season. He said, for the first quarter of the season, we are where we should be. We are 3-1, and we still have a lot to improve upon. And I'm excited with where we are, and we are getting better. In certain facets of our game, we are getting better, and that is always the goal of the end of the season. Is can your team continue to progress and get better as the season goes forward? We are not a finished product right now, and we still have a long way to go to becoming a really good football team. That is us handling all the details, all the small things, and being on it. That is when we will become better. And that's when I asked head coach D'Amico Ryans about assessing the team throughout the first quarter. All right, so let's go ahead and give some of these grades. All right, we're going to start off on the offensive side of the ball. Offense. I didn't write that down, but listen, I'm a stickler for details. I got to write everything down. Let me show y'all something, man. When I get ready for this show, so when I had my radio show, right, I people's like, hey, did you type out your notes, this, that, and that? I can't, because if I type them out, I can't. I have to write them out. So you see, I write out all my stuff. I write it all out because writing also helps me remember what I want to talk about. So look, notepad. See there? These shows. That's what I'm doing. I'm writing stuff down. So I gotta write that down because I'm a stickler for details. And so that's how I prepare for the show. I gotta write it down. So let's jump on the offensive side of the ball. Let's start with quarterback. All right, quarterback, A. I give CJ Stroud an A. And CJ has had to do a lot this season. And I read off his stats earlier, but I'll read them again. He's 94 for 139, 1,054 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and those 2 interceptions came in one game. 67.6 completion percentage. And his average time to throw, he got 2.85. He got that that time to throw. So CJ has had to do a lot. CJ has been under pressure a lot. And for him to be able to do what he's doing, to be able to read the field, he's still getting better. Remember, he's also only played in in less than 25 games in his NFL career. And so he's getting better. But the way that he's able to keep that offense afloat when they have all those issues, and we'll get to the offensive line, we'll get to the running game, but he's able to make things happen when he has to make things happen. And so I have to give CJ an A for what he's doing. Running backs, I'm going to say incomplete. And the reason why I say incomplete is because we seen Joe Mixon in like 1.5 games. Like we seen what he did against the Indianapolis Colts, and then he got hurt against the Bears, and then he's been out the last 2 weeks. Damian Pierce played in the first game. He's been hurt, and so now they're playing with backups. They're playing with backups like Cam Akers. I think this past weekend they brought up JJ Taylor from the practice squad. And so and then we seen, Dare. Dare is a very good third down back. Dare is a very good third down back. Hold on for a second, y'all. Hey, I don't know how to do that. Can somebody send that to me on X, Big Star Sports with the Z at the end. Send me the directions. I don't know how to do super chats. Only had with pumpkin. Only had pumpkin pie, hot pumpkin pie with ice cream. Never, David. Never. Hey, yeah, send me that Big B so I can figure out how to. I don't even know what a super chat is, but if you ask me why I don't have it, then I need to have it. I need to have it. So but I give the running backs an incomplete because I haven't seen enough of Joe Mixon. I haven't seen enough of even the backup Damian Pierce. They're on that third, fourth, and fifth string running backs. And so we've seen what Dare is a very good third down back. I'm going to repeat that, Dare Ogumawale. And we've seen what he was able to do on that 3rd and 18 play where he was able to keep the drive going. And he had the game-winning touchdown on that fast break play. So I had to give the running backs incomplete right now. What I'm not happy about, though, either, they only got 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. 2. 1-2. One by Joe Mixon and one by Stephon Diggs on a busted play. Busted play. They got 2 rushing touchdowns. That's definitely going to have to change. And I'm going to talk to Bobby about that this week. I got a couple of questions I need to ask offense coordinator Bobby Slowik. So, yeah, 2 rushing touchdowns. Wide receivers, I got to give them an A+. And I said Nico Collins is carrying that. They got the A. Listen. Anytime you got the number 1 wide receiver in the league on your team, as far as receiving yards is concerned, how can you give him anything less than an A+? Like, he's carrying. It doesn't even matter what the rest of the wide receivers are doing. Like, he's carrying that team. And when you look at his stats, 489 yards receiving on 30 catches. He has 178 yards after the catch. 178 of his 489 yards is after the catch. So how can you not give him an A+? Stephon Diggs has 233 yards on 25 catches. Now this is what I need to see, right? This is what I need to see this weekend. Now, if I'm going to have a complaint about Bobby Slowik, this is what I don't understand, Bobby. And we talked about this yesterday on, is this too much talent for you to handle? Is the lights too bright for you? You have got to find a way to get Tank Dell involved. You have to. I'm not telling you got to force feed Tank Dell, but you have to get him the ball. And if that means moving him around, not giving him a jet sweep, none of that, not doing these wide receiver screens. Sometimes, you can crisscross him and Stephon Diggs sometimes. Sometimes you can have Stephon line up and have Tank in the slot and then let Tank operate out of the slot 1 or 2 plays just to switch it up a little bit. But you got to find ways to not only get Tank Dell involved, but Dalton Schultz. Like I feel like that this offense has a lot of weapons, and I feel like listen, um, let me say this, Corey, and AD and everybody else. This I hold the team accountable. So I don't know where I don't give them excuses on not playing well. I hold them accountable. And especially like right now, I'm about to hold Bobby Slowick accountable. Hey, that shouldn't be an offensive drive that the Texans don't score on. That there shouldn't be, if there's a penalty free drive, they should score every time. There's no penalties on the drive. There should be no reason that the Texans should ever go 3 and out. The punter shouldn't see the field until like the second half when they're just running the ball to run out the clock. That's how I look at it. And listen, I get it. That may be me looking at it with my Madden brain because I never played in the NFL. So that may be me just looking at it with my Madden brain. But there's no possible way that if there's no penalties, that the Houston Texans shouldn't end every offensive drive with a score, whether it be a touchdown or a field goal, because you have one of the best kickers in the NFL, and he can kick pretty far. So you should get in his range. So if you have 8 offensive possessions, you should score on at least 6 of them. The other 2 should be you running out the clock. It's entirely too much. And we see what Nico can do. We seen what Stephon can do. Now it's time for us to see what Tank and Dalton can do. And now it's the second quarter of the season, Bobby. You need to figure out how you can feed everybody along with Joe Mixon, but make it go in a cohesive unit. We've seen teams like this move in a cohesive unit. And if you call up the right plays, and if you can get the right plays, you'll see how they move. You come from the Shanahan tree. Hey, listen, he found a way to make sure Christian McCaffrey got the ball, Debo got the ball, Ayuk got the ball, Kittle got the ball. And that offense, clicking. So maybe you need to go back and watch some of the tape from when you were there. Don't watch any from this year because they have a plethora of injuries over there with the 49ers, and they are suffering big time. But you got to find a way to get Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz involved to along with continue to get Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs. Hey, listen, it's not easy. It is not easy. I understand that, Bobby. It's not easy when you're looking at all these offensive weapons who can break open the game at any time. You say, how can I get them all the ball? That's why you get paid, though. Not me. I just play. Well, I ain't played Madden in a long time, but like I used to be really good at Madden. Paper football. Oh, let me tell you something. I can kick them field goals with the best. Well, and I know how to hit it just right. You scoot it just right. Get right to the edge. Run your finger across that touchdown. Let's go. Field goal. Wow. Tight ends. I give them a B because they're good when they're called upon. When they're called upon to do what they need to do, they're good. And we got to give Case Stover a pass on some things because he's a rookie, so he's still learning. But Dalton Schultz has been good when he's been called upon. So I got to give them a B. And this is where it gets interesting. The offensive line. I give the offensive line a D. I give them a D because their run blocking has been very poor this season. They've been adequate on pass blocking, but they've given up 71 quarterback pressures in the first 4 games. Titus Howard has given up 18. Kenya Green and Laramie Tunsil has given up 15. Shaq Mason has given up 12. Juice Scruggs has given up 11. They've allowed 12 sacks on the season in 4 games. That's 3 per game. For the amount of talent on that offensive line, that's not good. That is not good. That's why I gave them a D, because they got to find some, and that's not even including the penalties. I didn't even put the penalties in there. That's a D. close to a D minus. If they don't perform and they don't come, if they don't perform this weekend against Buffalo, then the next time we have this, we'll be talking about this on Sports Talk with Big Sarge on Monday on how the offensive line just and it makes no sense because they have some really talented players on that team. They got some veterans on that offensive line. They should be doing a better job. They should be doing a better job. They protect CJ. Don't get me wrong. They protect CJ. They don't give up too many sacks, but they're giving up too many sacks. They giving up entirely. I don't like to see CJ operates very good from the pocket. When he's in the pocket, he's very good. CJ should be able to have time in the pocket instead of being on the run. It's too many pressures for me. And I know I said that he has 2.85 seconds to throw the ball. That's a long time, but at the wrong times, it's too many pressures. And it's like they're not communicating with each other. They're not communicating with each other on a consistent basis. And so, like I said earlier, hey, look, get that out the way now. It's first 4 games. You were able to survive. You only lost 1 game. Get that out of the way now and keep it moving. You can only go up from here, but I have to give the offensive line a D. All right, let's go over to the defensive line. I gave them a C. The reason why I gave them a C is because you need to have more than just the pressures and the Hunter, Danielle Hunter, who has 24 quarterback pressures, 10 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and Will Anderson with 21 quarterback pressures. So that's 45 quarterback pressures from Hunter and Anderson, 10 tackles, 2 with 4 sacks. So they're not doing bad. But even head coach D'Amico Ryans admits that there needs to be more in the middle from that interior line. It needs to be more for that interior line to get better. Way too low a grade for the D line. Nah. Hold on, let me put this up. Nah, I don't think so. Because with the 2 studs that they have on the end and with the amount of pressure, if they're putting that much pressure, if there's 24, if there's pressure coming from this side and pressure coming from this side, then the middle should eat. And don't get me wrong, Fadikasi got 11 tackles and 1 sack, 6 quarterback pressures. Tim Settle, 7 tackles, 2 sacks, 7 quarterback pressures. With the amount of pressure, though, that they're getting. Let's go back. Let's look at this. Let's think about the Vikings game. There's a lot of pressure put on from the ends that the middle of the defense, those 2 interior linemen, they just weren't getting enough pressure up the field. Even the defense has admitted to that we have got to get more pressure going up the field from our interior linemen. I didn't say that they were playing bad. That's why I gave them a C. But in the second quarter of this season, I need them to be able to do a little bit more. How about that? Hold on. Play mobile quarterbacks every week. You have to contain and keep those guys in the pocket. Think about how wide Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. plays. They're not letting the quarterbacks get out of the pocket. They're keeping them in the pocket. And what they're doing is they're bringing the pressure from this way. It's forcing them into that and forcing them into the middle. And they're not getting the pressure that they need. Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter are doing their jobs, and they're barely missing sacks by like this much. So it's going to even itself out. We'll come back here the second quarter of the season after 8 games, and we'll talk about what has transpired and what has happened. But they're doing their jobs of flushing the quarterback and almost getting to the quarterback. But when they flush him and that quarterback steps up, it needs to be enough pressure coming in their face to whereas, bam, it happens to CJ. It needs to happen to these other ones. All right. I got to move on because I got to get ready to go. Linebackers, I gave them an A. They playing good. They are playing good. Azeez Al-Shaair has changed the trajectory of that, and there will be no Christian Harris, according to head coach D'Amico Ryans, for week 5. Maybe they're going to let him ramp up this week as far as practicing is concerned, and then bring him back maybe in week 6 or week 7. Who do they got next? Maybe they'll bring him back in the Patriots game. And they play the Patriots next week, and after the Patriots, Sarge, you just had the freaking scheduler. After the Patriots, they play the Packers. So they may bring him back for the Packers game, right? And yeah, if not, he'll be back for the Colts game. So with that being said, though, I like the way that the linebackers are playing. I like the way, hey, AD, you're not gonna like this one, AD. AD, you're not gonna like this one. I like the way that Henry To'oTo'o is playing. That's the Azeez Al-Shaair factor. Let me tell you something. And this is why I try to tell, this is why I say to some people, you can't be an inside if you ain't never inside anywhere, right? And some of the local media is gonna take that the wrong way, and I'm cool with that. Y'all know me. You know how to find me. You know where I'm at. Uh, so the things that the one thing about going to these practices and being in the locker room and talking to these players is you get to see different types of things, right? And so we go into the locker room Mondays. No, not Mondays. We go in the locker rooms Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday we don't. So it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. In those 3 days that we go in there hasn't been a time within the first 4 games that I haven't walked in there and at some point Azeez and Henry are sitting next to each other. There's been no point in time. Sometimes they sit next to each other that they may not even be talking about football. They be talking about something totally different. I've walked up on them to I walked up. No, matter of fact, I have been called over into a conversation that those two were having. And I was like, I don't even know how I got in this conversation, but I'm here. Okay, cool. Let's talk about it. But he has helped Henry a whole lot. And when they start talking football, they start talking football. Azeez knows football, man. I got to give it to him. So, yes, 8 playing good. The DBs, I'm giving an A because they haven't given up too many big plays after the Indianapolis games. They haven't been giving up too many big plays. They've been keeping it together. Although, I need to see, I would like, so Stingley and Lassiter have had 41 targets. They've given up 22 receptions, 309 yards. So last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, we finally got to see some rookie mistakes by some rookie mistakes by Kamari Lassiter. And he's gonna have that. He's really good. He's really good, but he's a rookie. So there's still gonna be times where he's gonna look like a rookie. And I'm saying to myself, okay, man, you just gotta learn, right? You just gotta learn. And so there's some times that he went there's some times that he could have I felt like he got beat by some wide receiver moves that he shouldn't have been on. But like I say, he's a rookie and he plays very well. And so it's a rookie mistake, but he's like, so let me tell you something. Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley almost share a brain because it ain't too many times he's going to completely get beat every time on the same move. You're not going to beat him on the same move. You may beat him with some different moves because there's some moves in the NFL that he hasn't seen yet. He didn't see these in college. These wide receivers weren't running these routes like they're doing in the NFL. So there's going to be times where he's going to make rookie mistakes. There's going to be times where he's going to get beat on the play. Everybody gets beat on the play. But with that being said, the second quarter of the season, I think that going up against some of these wide receivers that they're about to go up against, we should see a little bit more. And he's one of those guys that continues to learn. So I had to give the defensive backs an A. But side note, hey, somebody make sure Larry Stafford gets this. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I understand. I understand what you're saying about Eric Murray, right? I understand what you're saying about Eric Murray. I get it. I get it, Larry. Sometimes on some things you got to give him a pass. So I'm gonna give you 2 instances where he's been called out, and on those instances, it wasn't all his fault. Now they scored touchdowns, but on 2 instances that he's given up 2 touchdowns, it hasn't always been his fault. Then the touchdown that he gave up against the Vikings on a short field, that was after CJ had threw the interception. So now they're playing in a short field. It's hard to contain a wide receiver like Justin Jefferson in the short field like that. And you're saying, well, how does he get lined up on him? Because of defensive call and the Vikings move him a lot. But he got caught up on him, right? And so when he got caught up on him, when he got caught up on Justin Jefferson, if you look at the play, he has very good coverage. Sam Darnold escapes the pocket. When he escapes the pocket, they go into the scramble drill. Murray loses him on the scramble drill. There's not too many defensive backs in the NFL that's going to be able to hold Justin Jefferson on the scramble drill. Just like it's hard to hold Nico on a scrambling drill. So he gave up that touchdown. But if you go back and you look, if the defensive line gets this much more time to keep Sam Darnold in the pocket, he has great coverage on him. So, and I mean, Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the league. It's hard to contain him for that long, for that amount of time. Two. So a lot of people are looking at I looked at this play earlier today. A lot of people are down on Eric Murray about the touchdown that he gave up to, was that Brian Thomas? That I think that was to Brian Thomas, right? I think that was right after the muff punt, right? Right after the muff punt. You see a theme in this? Vikings get an interception. Vikings get an interception. Texans defense got to play on a short field. Of course, you could, pick out Murray if you think that he is not the guy that the other defensive backs are, but it's hard to contain a wide receiver like that in a short field. Against the Vikings, Justin Jefferson. Against Brian Thomas Jr., right? Against Brian Thomas Jr., if you go and you look at the play, and I get it. Hey, look, it said Murray's trash. That's cool. If you go and you look at the play, though, actually watch the play. Watch the play. Don't watch it as a fan. Just watch the play. If you look at that play, Eric Murray is lined up on Brian Thomas Jr. He's to the, if we're looking at it this way, he's to the right, I guess, right? So everybody's locked up man to man, right? On the opposite side of the ball, you have Stingley that's close to the line, and you have Kalen Bullock up top at the top in the end zone, right? He's at the top of the end zone. The problem that happens is Kalen Bullock bites on the play action fake. On the play action, excuse me. Kalen Bullock bites on the play action and comes down. So when he comes down and Murray is trying to hold Thomas, Thomas beats him off the line and cuts right across. He's wide open. But if Murray don't, if Kalen Bullock doesn't fly downhill, if Kalen Bullock doesn't fly downhill to try to stop the run and stays in position, Eric Murray doesn't look that bad because, hey, at pre-snap, he looks and he's like, I got help over the top if he beats me on the inside. So if he beats me on the inside, I got Bullock. But if you go back and you look at that play, on the play action, Bullock comes flying downhill, which leaves a wide open. And that was a great play call by the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was a great play call. But what happens? Boom, boom, boom. You're asking Eric Murray to do a lot on a wide receiver like that. But you're in a one-on-one. I mean, because if you were going to do that, if he's going to come down, then maybe it should have been a press man and maybe try to get your hands on him as quickly as possible. But what you want him to do when Kalen Bullock is at the line of scrimmage damn near before he looks up and realizes the ball is being passed behind him. So, I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Eric Murray has made some bad plays. So has the other players. Special teams, I got to give them an A. They just been good. They just been good. Coaching, C. And the reason why I gave him a C is because Bobby Slowick has to be better. Bobby Slowick has to be better. D'Amico has got to get the penalties down. He has got to get the penalties down. Oh, my God. Hey, where you at, Corey? Wait, side note. My auntie is in here, y'all. I love you, auntie. When I tell you that this my auntie who is a sports fanatic, she is a sports fanatic as well. I love you, auntie. Thank you. So, hold on. Muff punt. I'm not worried about that muff punt. I'm talking about look at what Kaimi has done. Look at what Tommy has done as far as being able to flip the field. Like one muff punt cannot erase what Fairbairn has done for the season. Special team Sims fumbled the football. Y'all want me to knock them for one fumble? I gave CJ an A. Should I have gave him a B for the Vikings game? Like one or two mistakes ain't gonna make me knock a player down. I can't knock the special teams. The special team is one of the units that has been the best. B at best. How? How many field goals of 50 yards plus has Kaimi Fairbairn hit? How many times has Tommy? Let me get Tommy's name because I call him Tommy so much that I be forgetting his last name. Tommy Townsend. How many times has Tommy Townsend flipped the field? Hell, on Sunday, Tommy had to kick 5 times. 5 times in the second half. 5 times in the second half. And he kept pinning them down so the defense could come in and have a chance. Sims been horrible all season. He ain't really been able to do nothing. Kickoffs, we see what kickoffs are now. Punts, he been playing against some very good punters too. So special teams got an A. Coaching C. Slowick has to do better. D'Amico got to get the penalties down. And Chris Strasser, the offensive line coach, has got to get better. You got to get better. Because if not, it may be time for them to make a change. I'm just saying. That offensive line does not look good. So I won't get to the Rockets right now because I have to go to this community event. I'm gonna try to come back. Yesterday, I didn't get a chance to come back because I had listen. Let me tell y'all something. It was a long day yesterday. When I left from here, I ain't come home till late because I had to do the Rockets media day, and then I had to go over to NRG to do D'Amico. So that's why you didn't get a happy hour. But today should be a little bit better because I just got the community event to go to and the training camp to go to, and then I'll be back today. But I got to record tonight too. I got something special coming up for y'all. Hold on, let me put this down. Happy hour. I'm gonna make myself a note. I'm gonna be back for happy hour this evening because we need to talk about the Rockets. And I need to tell y'all about the playoffs. Overall, I give the Houston Texans a B minus. Some of y'all gonna be mad. That's cool. I'm okay with that. Overall, I give them a B minus despite adversity. They're 3-1. But you want me to give them a D? Can't. You want me to give them a C? Can't. Because for as bad as the offensive line has been, the wide receivers have been amazing. Quarterback has been amazing. Linebackers have been amazing. The DBs have been very good. Special teams. If you average that out, some of you all are former educators like myself. If you average that out, that's about a B minus. Yeah. I got them as a B minus. So I know that some of you all aren't going to like that. Drop it in the comments. I'm cool with that. Hey, let me tell y'all something. Hold on for a second. Two-thirds of the key players been doing good on special team. That's 66%. That's a D or F. Hey, Pastor, let me ask you a question. Just a question, right? Just a question. So when we look at these special teams, right? I think it was after the Colts game that D'Amico said, was after the Colts or was it no, after the Bears game. D'Amico said, hey, Kaimi is the MVP. He has kept us in games. Tommy is one of the best punters in the NFL. How many punt return touchdowns have there been this season? How many kickoff returns has there been this season? So outside of the muff punt on Sunday, Steven Sims ain't been doing bad. Overall, as a whole, you're not getting a lot of punt returns for touchdowns. You're not getting a lot of kickoffs return for touchdowns. He's doing his job. So how can I give them a D or F when he's doing his job and then you got two other people exceeding expectations? I don't get it. That's cool though. That Sims fumble was a killer after the opening drive. Yes, it did. Take that away, and the Texans win by 11 points. Hold on, David. You're right. That's been like the last 2 weeks. That interception in the Vikings game on the second play of the game, that was a killer, and this was a killer as well. Because you put both instances, the defense was put in a short field against very capable offenses. Now you just being nitpicking. This is like talking politics, and I don't do politics. You know that. I don't do politics. I don't get in no political gangs like that. So anyway, with that being said, let me go around and hang out at this event real quick for the Texans, this community event. I love going to community events. Good thing it's right around the corner from my house. Then I'll be make sure y'all are following me on social media because I'll be putting up pictures from training camp where the Rockets opened their training camp today. You've been tuning into the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end, because we do everything for the gram. Make sure you follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Big Sarge Media. Alexis, I can't help it. Because the players gonna hate. The players gonna play. The haters gonna hate. Baby. Shake it off. I'm out.
Hard work. Hard work.